Hello, dear students. Hope you all are doing well at your home and enjoying your online sessions. So, welcome back to your biology online session with the new chapter number 2, animal tissue. So, in the previous chapter, you all have learned about the different types of plant tissues. Now, this is the time for animal tissues. Means, now we are going to discuss about our own tissues. What are the different types of tissues present in our body? Because human beings or we all are in the category of animals. Human beings are type of animals. Okay. So, we are going to discuss about the different types of tissues present in our body. Okay. So basically all the tissues of our body are broadly divided into four categories. These four categories are epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue on the basis of different types of cells and their functions and their structure. These are the four major categories. So in this chapter we are going to discuss all these four types of tissues in detail, means what are the main differences, where they are located, what are the main functions and how they are subdivided. Okay, so let's start with the animal tissue. So here it is a concept map of animal tissue is given, in which they are classified on the basis of their functions. So we can see that the animal tissues are broadly divided into four major types: epithelial, connective, muscular and nervous. And in this session we are going to discuss about three major types, that is epithelial tissue, then we will discuss muscular tissue, then nervous tissue, and the largest type is connective tissue, which is most abundant type of tissue present in our body. So this connective tissue we will complete in the second part of this chapter. So let's start with the first type, that is epithelial tissue. So the epithelial tissue is the tissue which is made up of a continuous layer of a cell. ओके सो इट इज समवॉट रिजेंबलिंग द एपिडर्मिस ऑफ द प्लांट्स. जैसे कि प्लांट्स में जो सबसे आउटर मोस्ट लेयर है, जो कि विदाउट एनी इंटरसेलुलर स्पेसेस है और जो प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड करती थी, उसको हम बोलते थे एपिडर्मिस. Here that layer is called as epithelial layer, which is a continuous layer and forming the outer surface of the body as well as the lining of the internal organs. What is the meaning of this thing? That in our body we are having different organs: stomach, intestine, lungs, heart. So in सब inner organs की जो skin है, inner skin है, that inner skin of all these organs are also made up of these epithelial tissue. So where it is located? It is located onto the outermost surface, and जो internal organs है उनकी जो skin है, यानी उनकी जो inner layer है, that is also made up of epithelial tissue. So basically these kind of tissues are of different thickness, variety. Okay, so here the examples are given, that it is present on our skin and even the blood vessels. Blood vessels क्या होता है? These are the pipes which will carry the blood from one part of body to other part. Okay, so blood vessels जो है उनकी lining and even our internal organs lining like stomach, intestine, lungs, heart. Okay. So they are also again divided into three major types on the basis of the shape of their cells. Means ये जो epithelial cells हैं, जो कि एक continuous layer बनाते हैं, ये भी अलग अलग shape के होते हैं और अलग अलग size के होते हैं in the different parts of our body. So basically they are of three types: squamous epithelium, columnar epithelium and cuboidal epithelium. Okay, so these are the major three types. You will study that it is also having some more types, but that you will study in your higher section. In this session we will discuss only these three types. That is, flattened cells are called as squamous epithelium, and if the cells are like columns, long columns, then they are called as columnar epithelium. And if it is of cuboidal shape, cuboid shape के हैं, square shape के हैं, then they are called as cuboidal epithelium. So these all are the examples where the epithelial tissues are present. So किसी में क्या होगा? Squamous होगा, कहीं पे cuboidal होगा और कहीं पे क्या होगा? columnar होगा. So we will discuss कि कहाँ पे कौन सा located है and how they are differ in their structure and how they are different in their function. So let us start with the first type of epithelial tissue called as squamous epithelial tissue. So here the cells of squamous epithelium, you can see they appear very flat, hexagonal or sometimes irregular in shape. So they are very thin and they are flat. Okay, so such kind of flat, thin, hexagonal or irregular shape cells are present in squamous epithelium. Okay, and what is the main function of these squamous epithelium? They will provide the protection and prevent the entry of germ, because in our skin we are having squamous epithelium but it is multi-layer. ओके कोई एक पतले, बिकॉज दे आर वेरी थिन, तो जो स्किन भी है वो हमारी कोई एक ही लेयर से नहीं बनी हुई है, तब तो वो बहुत थिन हो जाएगी. सो हमारी स्किन जो है वो मल्टी लेयर ऑफ स्क्वामस एपिथेलियम से बनी हुई है. सो तभी तब कब अगर उसको हम क्या बोलेंगे, स्ट्रेटिफाइड. ओके, बट दिस टाइप इज नॉट गिवन इन योर बुक, सो यू जस्ट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड कि ये जो स्क्वामस एपिथेलियम है ये बहुत पतले होते हैं और इनकी मल्टी लेयर बन के हमारी स्किन बनती है. सो दीज स्क्वामस एपिथेलियम आर प्रेजेंट इन अवर स्किन. एंड इवन हमारे जो इंटरनल ऑर्गन्स है वहाँ पे भी कई जगह पे क्या होता है, हमें कुछ कुछ मटेरियल्स को एक्सचेंज करना होता है. सो वेयर एवर द एक्सचेंज ऑफ मटेरियल विल टेक प्लेस, देयर ऑल्सो द स्क्वामस एपिथेलियम टिश्यू इज प्रेजेंट बिकॉज दे आर वेरी थिन. Okay, so easily exchange can be done. Okay, so do you remember where we used to exchange anything? If you remember, then you have already studied about the respiratory system of human beings in 6th class. So वहाँ lungs में क्या होता है, air oxygen जो है वो exchange होती है. So वो जो alveolar sacs जो है उनकी भी जो lining है वो किससे बनी हुई है, squamous epithelium से, because there they need to exchange the gases. Okay. So for examples we have already studied that in skin, in the blood vessels, because blood vessels से भी क्या होता है, digestive food जो है वो exchange होता है. Okay, and even our waste products, and the lungs and heart, these are the places where the squamous epithelium is present. Okay, so I think you understood ये क्या होते हैं, बड़े thin, flat and hexagonal or irregular in shape. Now the second type is columnar epithelium cells. Here the cells are just like columns. You can see they are like column. Means the length of the cell is more than the width of the cell, just like a column. यहाँ length ज़्यादा है और जो width है वो कम है, और इनमें जो न्यूक्लियस होता है वो बेस में लोकेटेड होता है. इन द स्क्वामस एपिथेलियम द न्यूक्लियस इज सेंट्रली लोकेटेड, बट ये इतने पतले होते हैं कि कई बार इनका जो न्यूक्लियस है वो बाहर प्रोट्रूडेड दिखाई देता है. एंड हियर इन द कॉलुमिनार एपिथेलियम सेल्स द न्यूक्लियस इज लोकेटेड एट द base. Okay, and they have a much more length as compared to their width, so just like a column. And such kind of columnar epithelium tissues are present in the stomach inner line. जो हमारा stomach है उसकी जो inner line है उसमें columnar epithelium cells होते हैं, और इनका मेन काम क्या होता है, यह stomach के अंदर ऐसे एंजाइम सिक्रीट करते हैं जो कि हमारे फूड को डाइजेस्ट करने में हेल्प करते हैं. एंड इवन इन आर इंटेस्टाइन, जहाँ पे जो डाइजेस्टेड फूड है वो क्या हो जाता है, एब्जॉर्ब हो जाता है. सो ये इंटेस्टाइन के अंदर भी होते हैं, और ये क्या करते हैं, फूड को, सपोज ये इंटेस्टाइन के इनर लाइनिंग है, सो ये फूड को एब्जॉर्ब करेंगे और फिर उस डाइजेस्टेड फूड को ब्लड वेसल्स में डाल देंगे. सो इनका क्या काम है, एट सम प्लेसेस सपोज एंड इफ दे आर प्रेजेंट इन स्टमक दे विल सिक्रीट सम एंजाइम टू डाइजेस्ट द फूड, and in the intestine they will absorb the digested food from the intestine. Okay, so and even they are also present in the pharynx region. So these are the second type of the epithelial tissue, that is columnar epithelium tissue. Now the third is cuboidal, where the shapes of the cells is just like a cuboid or square shape. Means the length is almost equal to the width, just like a square box, and their nucleus is centrally located, and they are present in kidneys and even in the sweat glands. जहाँ पे भी हमारे बॉडी से वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट को रिमूव किया जाता है उन जगह पे ज़्यादातर क्या होते हैं, क्यूबॉइडल एपिथेलियल टिश्यूज होते हैं. Okay, so they are present in sweat glands, they are present in kidneys, and they will help in removing the waste products. Okay, blood में से waste product को लेके ये बाहर की तरफ उसको excrete out कर देते हैं. Kidneys में in the urine and in sweat gland in the form of sweat. Okay, so basically they are also present in some of the glands. Suppose for example in the thyroid glands, वहाँ पे ये क्या करते हैं, जो gland जो secretion secrete करता है हार्मोन, उसको ये absorb करके उसको बाहर secrete out कर देते हैं blood vessels में. So इनका main काम क्या होता है, they will help in removing the waste product and even they will help in secretion. Okay, so they are present in thyroid gland, they are present in salivary gland. In our mouth we are having salivary gland जो कि सलाइवा सिक्रीट करते हैं और हमारे डाइजेशन में वो सलाइवा हेल्प करता है. सो सलाइवरी ग्लैंड इज हैविंग cuboidal epithelium tissue, and even in the kidney tubules and liver and pancreas also. These are some places where the third type called as cuboidal epithelial tissue is present. Okay, now come to the second major type of the tissue, that is muscular tissue. Muscular tissue means your muscles. Okay, but you are having 3 different types of muscles in your body. Okay, generally these 3 types of muscles can be seen at different places. So if you observe your body, that you know that some of the body parts are under your control. You can control the movement of those body parts, but some of the body parts are not under your control. Means you can't control the movement of your heart, okay, your movement of your internal organs. So on the basis of that thing, we can say that our body is having 2 types of muscles, voluntary muscles और involuntary muscles. Okay, voluntary muscles कौन सी muscles होती है? Muscles which are in our control, they are called as voluntary muscles, and the muscular tissues which are not in our control, they are called as involuntary muscles. Okay, so we will discuss about it, that muscular tissues, they are present in every part of our body. ओके और इनका मेन फंक्शन क्या होता है? इफ दे आर प्रेजेंट अबाउट द स्केलेटन, दे विल हेल्प इन द मूवमेंट ऑफ आवर hands, legs, and if they are present in the internal organs, in the alimentary canal, in the lungs, in the eyes, there also they will help in the टिश्यू मूवमेंट. ओके, मस्कुलर टिश्यू मूवमेंट होगा बिकॉज हमारे इंटरनल ऑर्गन्स भी मूव करके अपना फंक्शन परफॉर्म करते हैं. ओके, सो बेसिकली 3 types of muscular tissues are present in our body on the basis of their structure and function. Okay, so they are called as voluntary muscle, involuntary muscles, and the third type is called as cardiac muscle. Okay, so we have discussed voluntary means which are under our control, involuntary means जिसको हम control नहीं कर सकते. Then the question arises that why the third type called as cardiac muscle? Skeletal muscles are voluntary muscles because हम हमारे hands और legs का movement control में कर लेते हैं. Internal organs means this is the intestine. Internal organs के अंदर जो होती है वो involuntary muscles होती है और इसका movement हमारे control में नहीं है. It is not under our control or will. And the third type is cardiac muscle. But we know that cardiac muscle is also a type of involuntary muscles because हम हमारे heart का movement भी control नहीं कर सकते. But why it is in the third category called as cardiac muscle? There is a reason, and that we will discuss ahead. Okay, so let us discuss the structure of these 3 types of muscular tissue. Here, on the basis of this structure, we have some other name for the same: voluntary muscle, involuntary muscle, and cardiac muscle. And we can say voluntary muscles are called as your striated muscles. Okay, and your involuntary muscles are called as your unstriated muscles. And your third category is cardiac. So what is the meaning of that striated? You can see that in the striated muscles you will see कि इसके ऊपर black and white color के bands हैं. Okay, they are having striations. Striations का मतलब क्या है? Striations means the black and white colored bands are there which are called as striations. So those light and dark bands in the voluntary muscles are due to the presence of स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ प्रोटीन कॉल्ड एज एक्टिन एंड मियोसिन. और वो क्या करते हैं? कॉन्ट्रैक्शन और रिलैक्सेशन करते हैं जिससे कि हमारी मसल्स मूव करती है. और जब मसल मूव करती है तो जो मसल्स स्केलेटन के अटैच्ड होती है तो स्केलेटन भी मूव करता है. सो व्हेनेवर वी आर मूविंग अवर हैंड, बेसिकली वी आर मूविंग अवर muscles, and as a result of the movement of muscles, our skeleton means our hand with the bone, it will also move. So voluntary muscles are called as striatory muscles, and these are present over the skeleton of our body. That's why they are also called as skeletal muscles. So voluntary muscles के 3 names हो गए: voluntary muscle, skeletal muscle एंड स्ट्रिएटेड मसल. वॉलेंट्री इसलिए क्योंकि हमारे कंट्रोल में है, स्केलेटल इसलिए क्योंकि वो हमारे स्केलेटन पे अटैच्ड है, एंड द थर्ड टाइप इज स्ट्रिएटेड बिकॉज इट इज हैविंग लाइट एंड डार्क कलर्ड बैंड्स. ओके, दीज आर द लाइट एंड डार्क कलर्ड बैंड्स आर प्रेजेंट. दैट्स व्हाई स्ट्रिएशंस आर प्रेजेंट, एंड ड्यू टू दोज स्ट्रिएशंस नाउ दे आर कॉल्ड एज स्ट्रिएटेड मसल्स. So these muscles will help in the movements of our bones, or we can say our hands and legs. Okay. Now they are very long, cylindrical, okay, and we can see that these striated muscles, voluntary muscles, are resembling in the structure with the cardiac muscles. Because if you will observe, तो हमें यहाँ पे light and dark bands यहाँ पे भी दिखाई दे रहे हैं, okay, but there is a slightly difference between the structure. यहाँ पे ये branched नहीं है, they are cylindrical and unbranched, but here they are having light and dark colored bands, but they are branched. Can you see? They are branched और हर एक के अंदर केवल एक ही न्यूक्लियस है, यहाँ पे ये मल्टी न्यूक्लिएटेड होती है. Okay, so these are some of the difference in the structure, but still the structure of voluntary muscles and cardiac muscle is resembling too much. Okay, so still there is a difference. You can easily identify. यहाँ पे ये branched है और यहाँ ये unbranched है. So we can identify, but the structure is similar and the function of that cardiac muscle is resembling the involuntary muscles, because involuntary का क्या मतलब होता है? The function is not under our control. और cardiac muscle का मतलब क्या है? ये क्या करती है? Cardiac का मतलब होता है heart, यानी ये present है heart की walls में, और वहाँ पे ये क्या करती है? Contraction and relaxation करती है, जिससे कि हमारा heart beat करता है rhythmic movement में. So हार्ट बीट भी हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है. वी कांट स्टॉप आवर हार्ट बीट. सो हियर द कार्डियक मसल्स आर ऑल्सो डूइंग एन इनवॉलेंट्री फंक्शन, मीन्स they are not under our control. And just like that, unstriated muscles or involuntary muscles which are present around our internal organs, like the movement of our alimentary canal, movement of our excretory system, we can't control it. हमारा फूड जैसे ही अंदर गया अपने आप डाइजेशन स्टार्ट हो जाता है और हम नहीं रोक सकते उसको. वो जो इनवॉलेंट्री मूवमेंट है इंटरनल ऑर्गन्स का, विच इज नॉट इन आवर कंट्रोल. सो फंक्शन अनस्ट्रेटेड मसल्स का क्या है? दैट दे आर इनवॉलेंट्री, because they are not in under our control. And the same is there in the cardiac, they are also not in our control. So basically दो types थे, voluntary और involuntary. और जो third type था उसके साथ में problem है कि उसका structure तो मिलता है voluntary से, but उसका function मिलता है involuntary से, इसलिए हमने third category बना दी cardiac muscle. Now we are having three different types of muscles, that is voluntary muscles, involuntary muscle and we will say cardiac. हम इसको न तो वॉलेंट्री में रख सकते हैं ना हम इसको इनवॉलेंट्री में, बिकॉज स्ट्रक्चर इज सिमिलर टू स्ट्रिएटेड मसल बट द फंक्शन इज सिमिलर टू द अनस्ट्रिएटेड और involuntary muscles. Is it clear to everyone? Now come to the second type, unstriated का structure. So here you can see that they are having a spindle shape. यहाँ पे डार्क और लाइट बैंड्स नहीं प्रेजेंट है, इसलिए हमने इसको अनस्ट्रेटेड मसल्स भी बोला है. ओके, एंड दीज टाइप ऑफ मसल्स आर प्रेजेंट अराउंड अवर इंटरनल ऑर्गन्स, हमारे स्टमक में, इंटेस्टाइन में, जिनका कंट्रोल यूरिनरी ब्लैडर्स में, इवन इन आवर आईज ऑल्सो. ओके, सो वी कांट कंट्रोल द मूवमेंट ऑफ ऑल दीज ऑर्गन्स. ओके, and that's why they are called as involuntary muscles and unstraighted because bands भी इनके ऊपर present नहीं है, and they are spindle shape and having only a single nucleus. Okay, now the third type which is present in the heart muscle we have already discussed. इसका मेन काम क्या होता है कि ये जब contraction और relaxation करती है तो हमारा heart pump करता है blood को. Okay, so these kind of muscles are type of involuntary muscles. And the speciality of these cardiac muscles is that they will work continuously through your life, do not get tired at all, because from the very first moment of our birth till the last breath हमारी heart beat continuously चलती रहती है. मीन्स ये कार्डियक मसल कंटिन्यूसली वर्क करती है, एंड दिस इज द मेन स्पेशल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर ऑफ दोज cardiac muscles. Okay, so structure में they are similar in the voluntary and in the function they are similar to the involuntary. Is it clear to everyone the three types of muscular tissues? Okay, and in these muscular tissues जो cells के अंदर साइटोप्लाज्म प्रेजेंट होता है उसका अलग नाम है, उसको हम बोलते हैं सार्कोप्लाज्म, और इनकी जो मेम्ब्रेन है प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन, इसको अब हम बोलते हैं सार्कोलेमा. Okay, now let us discuss the differences once again. We have already discussed, but let us discuss one more time the differences. So this is very important to know the differences between the three. First of all, location. Skeletal or voluntary muscles are attached to the bone. Cardiac muscles are present in heart and our smooth unstriated muscles are present in the internal organs wall plus in our skin, because skin पे भी जब गूज बम्स हो, जब अपने आप वो कॉन्ट्रैक्शन रिलैक्सेशन करती है, दैट इज नॉट इन आवर कंट्रोल. नाउ फंक्शन क्या है, स्केलेटल के ऊपर जो अटैच्ड है उनका काम है मूवमेंट ऑफ बोन और मूवमेंट ऑफ अवर बॉडी, मूवमेंट ऑफ अवर हैंड्स एंड लेग्स. कार्डियक मसल्स दे विल डू द बीटिंग ऑफ हार्ट, एंड जो इंटरनल ऑर्गन है वो क्या करती है, उसके अराउंड जो है वो मूवमेंट ऑफ इंटरनल ऑर्गन करती है, यानी हमारे अंदर जो फिजियोलॉजिकल एक्टिविटीज चलती है दे विल बी परफॉर्म विद द फंक्शन ऑफ दीज स्मूथ unstriated involuntary muscles around our internal organs. Okay. Control mode, they are voluntary, means we can control, they are under our control or will. And cardiac, they are also involuntary, we can't control the movement of cardiac muscles. Third one is smooth, they are also involuntary, means they are not under our control or will. Now come to the shape. They are long, slender and multinucleate. You can see many nucleus in it, because जब ये बॉडी हमारी कंटिन्यूसली मूव करती है तो हमारी बॉडी को बहुत ज़्यादा एनर्जी की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, एंड फॉर दैट मैक्सिमम एनर्जी दे आर हैविंग मैक्सिमम माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया ऑल्सो एंड मेनी न्यूक्लियस ऑल्सो. नाउ कार्डियक, सिमिलर इन स्ट्रक्चर टू द स्केलेटल, बिकॉज यहाँ भी बैंड्स है और यहाँ भी बैंड्स है, बट दे आर यूनिन्यूक्लिएट एंड ब्रांच्ड. Okay, so this is the difference between the two in the structure. Spindle shape, यानी ये spindle shape है, means they are tapering at end. Spindle का मतलब क्या होता है कि ये end पे से बहुत ही तीखी है, means they are tapering at the end and uninucleate without any bands. That's why they are called as unstriated muscles. Now characteristic features क्या है, ये striated होते हैं, light and dark bands है और इनके अंदर बहुत सारे nucleus है. Here they are striated but only one or two nuclei. They are non-striated and only one nucleus is present. So I think the differences between the three types of muscular tissue is now clear to all of you. Now let us start with the third type of tissue, nervous tissue. The nervous tissue is the tissue which will make the nervous system of our body. And what is nervous system? It is the system present in our body which will help in the control and coordination of our body. Okay, so before starting the structure and function of the nervous tissue, let us quickly see that what is nervous system and how it will work. Now suppose you try to pluck a flower and accidentally you will touch a thorn. Then what will happen? At that time your hand will be retract back. And why it will happen? Because whenever you will touch a thorn, a masses from your skin of fingers, the masses through the neurons, it will get transferred to the brain. Now the brain will give masses to the skin that retract your hand back because it is hurting your skin. Okay, so by this mean the nervous system is working. Hence students, our nervous system is consist of brain, spinal cord and all these wires, and which are present in all the parts of our body, and these nerves will carry the masses from all the body parts to the brain. Then brain will give masses to all the body parts, that how you have to work. सो हमारा अब जो ब्रेन है वो सारे मैसेजेस देता है बॉडी पार्ट्स को. सो बॉडी पार्ट्स जो भी बात होती है वो मैसेज ब्रेन तक पहुंचाती है और ब्रेन से जो वापस मैसेज है वो बॉडी पार्ट्स तक पहुंचाती है. सो इन दिस वे आवर बॉडी इज कंट्रोल्ड एंड कोऑर्डिनेटेड बाय ब्रेन. Okay, and in this control and coordination these nerves will help a lot. So our nervous tissue is present in all those nerves and your brain. Okay, so now let us discuss the structure of that single cell of our nerves. Now this is the structure of a single neuron or nerve cell, and each neuron has a central part called as cell body or cyton. From the cyton you can see many thread-like branches are extending out. These are called as dendrons, and from the dendrils also some extensions you can see. Those extensions are called as dendrites, and one of that dendron will get elongated and now it is called as axon, which is covered with a myelin sheet. Okay, and these are the terminals or ending of axon. So here you need to understand that these nerve cells will join end to end and they will form the nerves. Means जो nerves हमारी body में है, wire like nerves है, they are consist of bundles of these nerve cells. Okay, and here in the nerve cells, whenever the message is traveled, it is traveled in the form of impulse, और ये impulse हमेशा एक ही direction में travel करती है, and the direction is that message will always enter through the dendrites into the nerve cell and it will go out through the axon. कभी भी message ना axon से ऊपर cell body की तरफ नहीं जाता है. Always the impulse or the message will travel in only one direction, that is from the dendrites to the axon and then to the next neuron cell. We will discuss that further in your next chapter. You have one chapter, nervous system. There we will discuss it in brief. Okay. Now come to the nerve structure. Means in a single nerve you will see that they are having a bundles of nerve cells. Okay, and it is the one extended nerve cells. Okay, और ये जो nerves हैं, these nerves are, we have already studied, these nerves are connected to the brain and spinal cord, to all the parts of the body for its control and coordination. Okay, so here our nervous system, our nerve tissue is also completed, and the next we will discuss the connective tissue. So today we have completed the epithelial tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue, and the next is connective tissue, that we will start in our next session. Okay, thank you so much.